The 2018 New York Mets had the best start ever in their franchise history. With new rookie manager Mickey Callaway, the Mets went 11-1 and were guaranteed a playoff spot even if they played .500 afterward. Instead, they have lost 14 out of their next 20 and are in the midst of a 6-game losing streak. GM Sandy Alderson is not aggressive, so minimal changes have been made to right the ship. Callaway, who has 32 Major League games under his managerial belt, has no fire and is insulting the fan base. Let's start with Callaway. The Mets have been absolutely dreadful offensively. The catchers are automatic outs. And Rosario has underachieved and continues to refuse to stop lunging at pitches out of the strike zone. Michael Conforto has been completely lost since returning from the DL. Adrian Gonzalez is a one-dimensional player who is clogging up space on the roster. In the midst of their 6-game losing streak and rather lethargic play night after night, Callaway tells the fans that going through these stretches are part of the game. Who does Callaway think he's talking to? This is New York, with the most educated fan base anywhere and have lived through heartbreak and lame cliches. Being shut out 3 times in a week, having a catching tandem bat under .150, having Jose Reyes batting under .130 is not part of the game. Those events lead to players getting demoted or released, and managers and coaches getting fired. Callaway learned under Terry Francona, who is a laid-back guy, but Callaway needs to show fire right now and empathize with the fan base. If he continues to try to sell snake oil, he will have a very short tenure as Mets manager. He will lose us and the players. More from Rising Apple. Now back to Sandy. While the Yankees have Brian Cashman, who does whatever it takes to win and built a solid farm system, have players come up and contribute immediately. They are winning games dramatically and hitting over and over again. Sandy's farm system has been horrendous. Fans were duped by Rosario, who clearly was overhyped. He swings at everything, doesn't run hard to first, and is clueless. Dominic Smith is a bust in Las Vegas and was a bust with the Mets last season. Gavin Cecchini is a utility player at best, and Tomas Nido is a decent defensive catcher who will never be mistaken for Mike Piazza. He is overmatched at the plate and doesn't belong in the majors. Michael Conforto and Brandon Nimmo are good players but not in the category of Gleyber Torres and Ronald Acuna Jr. And yet Sandy keeps players like Jose Reyes and Adrian Gonzalez on the roster when clearly there needs to be a shakeup. He refuses to upgrade the catcher position, even though Hansel Robles is despised by fans due to his finger-pointing and constant home run pitches. Sandy decides to bring him back time and time again. Is it really a shock that he's a dud who needs to be gone as soon as possible? Sandy just made the decision to designate Matt Harvey for assignment. However, where is his message to the fan base that this level of play is unacceptable? Sandy is arrogant and does not care what the fan base wants, and has a huge disconnect with us. He is 70 and a dinosaur in this business. He needs to be fired immediately. At the end of the season, they need to go outside the organization and hire a GM with a different philosophy. This offseason was the one to strike with pitching free agents. They could have had Lance Lynn, Greg Holland, and Brian Shaw. Instead, he signs Anthony Swarzak, who has been on the DL after appearing in just 2 games, and Jason Vargas, a .500 pitcher who has been brutal in his 2 starts since coming off the DL. Peter Alonso might be in AA Binghamton, but his raw power and well over .300 batting average should earn him a call-up to see if he can handle first base. Meanwhile, instead, Gonzalez and Reyes continue to take dead space on the roster. This team is falling extremely fast. There's still time to save the season. Just fire Sandy to start and let's get going.